What is up, everybody? We are Cranky Films, and we are back at you with another reaction. And today we're doing the Epics of Serina Part 3. It has been a minute since we did Part 1 and 2, but recently some people have requested for us to do Part 3, and who knows, maybe Part 4 if this one does well. Anyway, please leave down in the comments if there's any other videos you want us to react to. We love the comments. Anything really. Gaming stuff would be nice. We like gaming stuff. Anyway, let's get right to it. By Curious
Welcome back
Archive.
to Curious Archive. This video is the third part of a series exploring the incredible speculative evolution project of Serina, the world of birds. Serina was created by Dylan Beta, a terrific artist and world builder. I have links below where you can follow and support his work. When we left off, Serina was home to a single supercontinent at the end of the Pangeacene. Now it is the Ultima scene, the final era of Serina, and one more incredible than any that came before. At 250 million years post-establishment, the supercontinent has split into northern and southern landmasses. This period will see the rise of multiple forms of highly intelligent life. And in much the same way that elephants, dolphins, crows, and humans, which as far as we know are some of the most intelligent animals ever to exist, all happen to live in an overlapping time period, a similar convergence will occur on Serina during the Ultima scene. On the enormous grassland of the southern continent, many key species can be found, like the successful Cerquagadonts, who look almost unrecognizable from their roots as tiny fish 250 million years prior. Giant archangels flock nearby, a type of metamorph bird, a curious classification that will define the early Ultima scene.
Archangels.
And scavenging close by, a large bumble badger makes off with a young Cerquagadont, foreshadowing a rivalry between the two groups that will change Serina forever. But we're not there yet. Right now, soft-billed birds, the very descendants of ancient water snuffles, are prospering during the Ultima scene. Organisms like the bludge birds are now extinct, but another offshoot of the mittens, the southern squid stork, or squirk, are still going strong. These intelligent creatures are omnivores and use their tentacle beaks to grab hold of hidden worms and mollusks. In temperate forests, another soft-billed bird is the shy and reclusive moo, a horse-sized herbivore that lives perpetually on alert. Why would a creature of this size be so skittish? The truth is, it has good reason to be. Elsewhere in these forests lurk the grappler, predators similar in build to the moo, which are their preferred prey. Their tentacle-like beaks are lined with sharp teeth and tipped with talons, making them deadly apex predators. A different branch of softbills are the Terries, a group that includes the hilariously named newts, whose facial tentacles fused over time into one elongated, fleshy mouth. When threatened, these birds are able to scoop up their eggs and carry it against their chins, where a small fold of feathered skin keeps it secure while they flee. A related group are the neckbeards, who, like the newts, have an amusing name and carry their eggs against their chins, although the neckbeards take this to a new extreme by having a more defined pouch to hold their eggs, allowing them to stop brooding on the ground at all. In warmer forests, you can find the lumber beasts, the largest living mucks on all of Serina, standing up to 25 feet or 7.6 meters tall and weighing over 2 tons. The group, however, is in the decline, with most now wandering the forest in isolation. In the branches above, however, life flourishes. Here, much-changed tree-dwelling tribits swing near the bizarre tentacled boras, the offshoot of the soft-billed mittens. Truly fantastic forms of life. On the subject of fantastic forms, possibly no creatures are more unique than the changelings, or metamorph birds. Although the metamorph group reaches their peak in the early Ultima scene, their ancestry goes all the way back to the Cryocene. The metamorph line began with birds that laid small, shellless eggs, which made the process of reproduction faster, but led to their chicks being born extremely underdeveloped, almost looking like bird tadpoles before they reached adulthood. Over millions of years, this larva-like stage became more viable and more complex, with the tiny young developing stronger forelimbs to move around more efficiently before becoming adults. Other metamorph embryos were laid in the water and became more fish-like, adapting for life in an aquatic environment. Millions of years on, the end result is perhaps the most adaptable and physically diverse vertebrate clade ever to exist. Among their varied ranks
always
are
that
the
one
zebra
derpy evolution.
tweezle, bumblebee-sized birds that begin life
Zebra
as worm-like
tweezle.
larvae and are among the smallest birds
Wait, those are
ever.
small,
Another metamorph is the blue-throated boomsinger, one of the
my God.
largest
Oh my
birds ever to walk the
God.
land, which stands up to 50 feet or 15¼ meters tall. Some aquatic
Crazy.
metamorphs, like the long-billed pikebird, have even abandoned their adult forms altogether through an extreme expression of neoteny, essentially becoming fish-like organisms.
I'm so
Truly
glad I put
incredible.
the definition
Other
neoteny
metamorph birds
on
have a
blast.
somewhat unfortunate lot in life, like the dayflight bird. These extreme metamorphs begin as incredibly fish-like larvae. They then consume themselves in a silken wrapping of their own saliva, which hardens into what is essentially a second egg, within which they metamorphosize into adults. Tragically, however, the adults lack mouths altogether.
Oh.
The dayflights
no.
therefore live only a single day in their adult forms,
Damn.
during which they lay eggs to repeat the cycle. And if
Oh
this
my
sounds too
God.
outside the box
Yeah,
to
they lose their
evolve, know
mouth.
that real-world mayfly insects have a very similar
What a
life
wild
cycle that
trait.
ends in an adult form that lacks a mouth.
I wish I was
Perhaps
born
the
with
most
that trait.
impressive
Oh my
metamorph
God.
bird, however, is the storm sonar, a highly
this
migratory
guy was
archangel
crazy.
with a wingspan of 50 feet, or over 15
Dude, if I saw
meters,
any of
the
these bird
largest flying
species
animals
outside, bro,
ever
I'd be
to
terrified to
exist.
go out.
I
Despite
wouldn't
being
go outside.
larger
I'd be
than
living on
some
the ground.
airplanes, storm sonars are gentle giants,
What
Some
about
mole
known for their
birds?
eerie,
Yeah, that's
echoing
why the mole
calls.
birds.
As previously stated, aside from the metamorph birds, one of the major themes of the Ultima
Also make
scene
me
is
more
the
terrified of
development
the
of
ocean.
intelligence among many animal
yeah.
lineages. In the ocean, the herbivorous ring-necked porplets and carnivorous sea strikers are two such examples. Both species are social animals with keen minds.
I like the sea
sea
strikers.
strikers have learned to operate like sheepdogs, systematically herding the porplets to create a consistent food source. Considering how
Okay.
advanced and similar
tough.
both species are, however,
tough.
it's an unsettling system, proving nature can be quite cruel. And nothing is quite as
without the
cruel
mouth, it's
as
very
an
cruel.
ending.
Yeah.
In the words of the author, as happens to everything in the cosmos, from flowers to stars, Serina itself is now dying.
No!
The moon is starting to slowly cool down, and it
Now
will never
Earth.
warm up again. As stated before, the Ultima scene will be the final era in the saga of Serina.
What if we
That
come
sucks.
from
Before the
birds and
curtain
this was
falls
like
on
real?
Serina's finale, there may still be time for something truly incredible to occur.
I wanted there to be
Over
an
the past
evolution
several
after this,
million
that's cool.
years, one branch of the Cerquagadonts has begun an extraordinary transformation.
that thing.
For eons, Cerquagadonts have been unable to feed on tall trees due to their short necks. But now one species has specialized a body part that will allow them to do so. Not their necks, but their ears. From their hearing structure,
Ears?
some
I thought those were
Cerquagadonts have
antlers.
developed antler-like mobile limbs that are able to reach up and hook branches, an adaptation which might one day have intriguing consequences. Before that day comes, however, other branches of the Tributiers
damn.
are also doing pretty well for themselves, rivaling
got a
the
dumpy,
birds in
bro.
diversity
Right.
several million
Yeah, the
years after
Tributiers.
crawling onto land. Take the painted Rapandor, the widest spread caneathere on land
only
in
have
the
one
early
leg.
Ultima scene,
Back
whose
leg?
jaws
Yeah,
have a
that's-
unique
that's
shearing
sick.
motion that helps them consume
Excuse me?
prey. Or the
Okay.
thorn gazer, a hairless
guy was
molodont
crazy.
able to
And I
survive
hope
off
there's one
bristly
that
desert
evolves into a
plants alone.
primate and then
And in the
humans.
skies, the branch that became the Tribats is also still going strong.
Yo,
like
Tribats.
the blue-eared Vibropteryx, a nectar-drinking specialist that uses a long brush-tipped tongue to gather food.
That's kinda
And in the
sick.
seas, yet another offshoot is becoming aquatic, like the spotted snail smashers, a strange-looking group that feeds on various types of mollusks. Between the metamorph
comes from
birds and
birds as
various
well, right?
tributiers,
Yeah, everything's
Serina is at an
generic.
Yeah,
all-time
so-
high of biodiversity. But now the moon is truly getting cold. We are now in the middle Ultima scene, and a new ice age is setting in.
God.
In this new world, only the most adaptable will survive. Sexticorn thorn gazers are
Oh my
one such
God,
species, which
really?
have become
That's
thick-coated
brutal.
ice
I'm
age
for it, I'm
herbivores
for it.
with specialized
eyes.
facial horns that give them a menacing look.
Yes, I'm
Despite
for it.
appearances, these creatures aren't overly aggressive, just
I'd
interested in self-defense from Ice Age predators. Another curious-looking new arrival in the Ice Age are
Look at that
mammoth
boy.
trunkos,
Oh, man, it's
descendants
fancy,
of the
dude. That's my heart
neckbeards
of
that have
that.
developed both a longer beak trunk and a truly robust neck pouch to carry their eggs in, which has
That's
come in handy in the
wild.
cooling temperatures. At this point in the Ice Age, the largest archangels are sadly in trouble, as the rapidly cooling world is making their migratory patterns less and less effective.
Just like a kangaroo
Some
pouch.
archangels are adapting, however, by becoming smaller and less migratory offshoots called seraphs.
The babies are
Examples
developed in
include
the
the
pouch.
Tundratese, which might not be as spectacular as their larger relatives, but are much better adapted for this new world. Closer to the equator, a story unlike any other is now, at last, set to begin. Over the past several million years, a group of Cerquagadonts called the Antliers, which have become more intelligent with more complex antler-like manipulator appendages, find themselves blindsided by a creature that hunts them with an astonishing degree of planning and foresight. These carnivorous life forms, the Gravediggers, are descendants of the Bumble Badgers. While other predators evolve sharper teeth or longer claws to catch their prey, the Gravedigger has developed a bigger brain. They have, incredibly, learned how to make traps by digging deep pits into the earth with their powerful arm claws and using their beaks to sharpen sticks, which they place at the bottom. It's a kind of trap the Antliers are helpless against. But not for long. By catching the less wary Antliers, the Gravediggers are inadvertently selecting for smarter and smarter prey. And so the evolutionary arms race is set into motion. It will be perhaps the most rapid of any so far on Serina, as well as the most pivotal. Soon, one particular type of antlier, the standing antlier, will become intelligent enough to avoid traps, and in turn therefore give rise to Gravediggers with more effective trapping abilities. In time, the Antliers and Gravediggers both achieve sapience, able to use basic tools and becoming smart enough to avoid each other. While no longer predator and prey, however, a hatred has risen between both groups that would define the coming era in unexpected ways.
There comes a war.
The standing Antliers have now become the Woodcrafters, one-of-a-kind looking social organisms with exceptionally advanced brains and highly expressive faces for communication. Woodcrafters have also developed a whistling language, somewhat similar to the sounds of an elk, and can craft spears to defend against predators, although they themselves are herbivores. Spears aren't the only thing they've learned how to craft, however. As their name implies, Woodcrafters have learned to shape the trunks and branches of trees, creating basket-like homes as well as fences, bridges over rivers, and sculptures of beasts or abstract creatures from their lore. So the Woodcrafters are developing a culture, one that is in large part defined by a hatred of predators. Meanwhile, the Gravediggers are achieving a similar level of brain function. While their marks on this world are subtler than the Woodcrafters, often little more than art carved into the sides of trees at the edge of their territory, they are still the marks of high intelligence. However, the Gravediggers are learning to be careful when they make these marks, as it can attract unwanted dangers. The Woodcrafters, which have at this point driven most predators from their environment on a crusade to make a safer world, are now leaving their territory in search of more predators to slay. Once the prey of the Gravediggers, the Woodcrafters have turned the tables entirely, and are now killing Gravediggers not out of self-defense, but due to a misplaced crusade. Eventually, however, an incredible transformation occurs. As they expand out, Woodcrafters begin to encounter barrier trees made by Gravediggers who never learned to stop making art out of fear of discovery. At first, the Woodcrafters assume these markings are the work of some unfamiliar Woodcrafter village. After all, in their limited worldview, they are the only ones intelligent enough to create art, but there are no signs of others like them in this region, only their old enemies. In the words of the author, the Woodcrafters had set out to create a world without monsters, and it is only then that they realize that they have become them. With the revelation that they are not alone at their arbitrary pinnacle of life, that the monstrous Gravediggers they'd slain for years are intelligent just like they are, shock quickly spreads through the Woodcrafter communities. And it is at this time of great cultural uncertainty that the trajectory of the two species shifts forever from a small choice. An orphaned Gravedigger infant, left alone after the death of their mother, one of the last Gravediggers ever hunted for sport, is taken in by an empathetic Woodcrafter warrior-to-be. This Gravedigger child, aptly referred to as Bridge, is at first regarded with suspicion by the other Woodcrafters. Soon, however, they learn to socialize with the group, displaying a personality and emotional complexity normally hidden from all outsiders. Bridge would forge a path for cooperation between the two most intelligent species on Serina. The Woodcrafters and the Gravediggers, intertwined since their shared beginning, would break a multi-million-year cycle of violence between intelligent predator and intelligent prey. In time, other young Gravediggers following Bridges' example would abandon their territorial ways and imprint on Woodcrafters. And in turn, the Woodcrafters would accept the young Gravediggers into their society. Eventually, the younger generations would never know a world where Antliers and Gravediggers were enemies. And whatever the future would hold, the two species would face it together. Perhaps only tragedy awaits all life on Serina as it continues to cool past the point of no return. But it's always been a saga of both the good and the bad, a story of life and death, of extinction and evolution. In any case, for the time being, one thing is for sure. The Mudwickets and Bumblets sure came a long way. Dylan Beta has released some content set after this period, but I don't want to dive further into the future until the whole project has been unveiled. So it's a story which will have to be told another time. For now, this is the end of our 3-part series. If you found this speculative evolution epic as enthralling as I did, please follow and support Dylan Beta and his project using the links below. There's also plenty that I wasn't able to cover in this limited time frame, so if you're curious about learning more of Serina, links to his site are also in the description. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this entry, please lend your support, and like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon to stay up to date on all things curious. See you in the next video.
Dude, this story is insane! I didn't think this story would turn out to be like this. Yeah, like a dramatic story.
There are two factions, dude, killing each other. After a while, they became the monsters
That's insane, genocide. Dude. The picture of him standing in the rain after he realized what he did.
Yeah, looking at the orphan gravedigger just there.
That's so crazy,
damn,
bro.
We really doing this? We're really doing this? And then the entire species changed the way they thought about the gravedigger.
Holy cow, man.
Hey, you know what'd be crazy? If they survived the stupid ice age and advanced with science. And they just live forever.
I just want to see the first one in space.
Oh yeah, the canary space.
With the first gravedigger in space.
Dude, they're gonna crossbreed, 100%. That's gonna make the human canary.
Oh. All right, look. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, and also please remember to comment down below. We'll probably get to it. We love your comments. They're all great. Yeah. They're all welcoming.
I'll read them all. Read them all.
He does, and he comments too. Yeah. Alright. Thank you all for watching. And stay cranky.